Welcome back, everyone. As we all know, Hunter Biden no-showed his deposition in Washington last week, defying the subpoena issued to him by the House Oversight Committee. But he likely won't be able to wiggle his way out of this next legal obligation when he will be arraigned on January 11th at a district court in Los Angeles on 9 federal tax charges. Check out this recent piece from USA Today, which reads, quote, Hunter's defense team may highlight that for a period of much of the period the indictment focuses on, Biden had serious substance abuse problems that may have undermined his ability to be aware of and intentionally violate tax laws. Joining us to discuss is Kansas Congressman Ron Estes, who also serves on the House Ways and Means Committee. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us today. Got to laugh at this one a little bit because Hunter sure was with it enough to spend a lot of money on, prostitutes, on drugs, other things, spending a fortune and not paying his taxes. What do you think of that legal tactic? I mean, he's played the victim card for a while now. Will that hold up in court?
I don't think he'll hold up. I mean, particularly when you look at he was spending money not just, like you said, with drugs and prostitutes, but also the lavish luxury house and a Porsche and fancy cars. And so he was out living the lifestyle instead of paying his taxes like we expect American citizens to do.
Now, it's not just Hunter Biden. There's a lot of questions surrounding a number of the Biden family members, and one of them being James Biden, who's Hunter's uncle. He allegedly had a heavy hand in deal making for the family when Joe Biden was still a senator. Joe's vote was needed from a Mississippi trial attorney named Richard Scruggs in order to secure a $1 billion settlement from Big Tobacco. Our own Greg Kelly broke all of this down last night. Listen.
Scruggs had identified one of the most skeptical senators, Joe Biden, as a key to winning the vote. Scruggs turned to Biden's younger brother, James, an old acquaintance who ran a D.C. consulting firm with his wife, Sarah. Scruggs paid the firm $100,000 in 1998 for advice on passing the bill.
So, yeah, a lot of family members involved in these business deals and the alleged influence peddling. What do you make of this?
Yeah, you're really seeing a repeated pattern of what's going on. In fact, that same consulting firm is part of this this whole trail of the money that's coming in now that's being investigated. And all of this would have not been uncovered if it hadn't been for two whistleblowers from the IRS that came up and said that Hunter Biden was getting a slight slap on the wrist instead of focusing on a normal investigation and a normal prosecution by the Justice Department. So we've seen multiple cases here where that particular consulting firm that run by James and Sarah Biden was actually instrumental in a chain of money that's being fed by from the Chinese company that Hunter and his Chinese partner set up to flow into Hunter Biden's bank account, to flow into the bank account at this account owned by James and Sarah Biden, and then to flow into Joe Biden's account. So we've seen a repeated pattern of that money going in, and really we wanted to make sure that things are open and transparent, and that's why we voted last week on the impeachment inquiry to make sure we had a legal basis to go out and investigate, and for the Oversight Committee and the Judiciary Committee to continue their work and make it a point that there's no argument or that Hunter Biden should not show up and do a press conference on his own instead of showing up to actually explain the evidence and actually talk through what's out there.
Yeah, it's funny how the left wants to say that this is purely political, but I think the American people at the end of the day just want answers. You and your colleagues have done such an outstanding job of kind of showing us this tangled web, which is very complex. You need a chart just to understand the flow of the money and the business transaction, the shell companies and so forth. We just want to know what's going on here. A little transparency would go a long way.